but I need to check that more often, or check that before I start the live. Luckily, I was only live for about 2.5 minutes before I was like, well, maybe I should check that. So just went ahead and started a new one. If anybody's watching this after the fact, I'm going to wait until more people start joining before I start talking about what I'm doing here. Ooh, my shoulder popped. How's it going, guys? As you can see, I'm cleaning up some work that I did. I started live a few minutes ago whenever I peeled all the stuff off of that, but realized it was on unlisted. So, yeah, I need to check my privacy on that before I start my lives. But I figured I'd go ahead and show off that I got all this done. I think I might have to go over it again. It's still not cured yet, so I'm kind of hoping that you can see kind of like the spray lines and stuff in there a little bit. I did spray it on a little heavy in some places, so you can see like where it looks like it's dripping and stuff, but that'll be a problem for next summer, Adam, or next summer Project 681, because I'm not doing this again this summer. Not up here at least. So how many buses are at the yard that I work for? Somewhere in the ballpark of 150. I'd have to actually sit there and think about and count on my hands or write tally marks or something on all of them that we actually have. I could do it by memory, but like I know which ones we have, which ones we don't have anymore, all that kind of stuff, but it'd just take a while. So let's see. Dan Man Trucking, I appreciate it. School bus ownership is fun, but also it can be a massive headache. So I wouldn't trade it for anything though. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun, even if it does kind of make me angry sometimes. Yeah, you don't see these Bluebird Freightliners too often anymore. I mean, they weren't ever really rare. Some people consider them that way, but I mean, you could see them. I mean, you saw them a lot in West Virginia and Alabama, especially Kentucky. I guess some areas of the country they're kind of rare. You saw them a lot in Ohio too, but where I'm from, they weren't really that rare. I used to think they were rare, but yeah. Surprise stream. I've been meaning to do one for a while. Cameron did one, I think last weekend. Wasn't that long ago. So I've been meaning to do one for weeks. I just haven't gotten around to it, and I figured I will go ahead and do it now. But how's it going, Chris? It's good to go ahead and start your channel. I started mine, 10 years ago, and I've had this for 4 years, meaning 681's been gone for just over 4. So, yeah, I mean, I had mine long before I'd planned on actually buying 681. I was hoping to buy it in like 2018, around the time I graduated, but they let it sit for 3 years, which actually ended up helping me save money for a school bus. And it didn't end up working out anyways, which is why I have this bus. But y'all, most of you know the story, so. I'm not too bad, I guess, Chris. Just living the dream, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. SBCVs are neat. I've heard they're very uncomfortable to drive. That's really the only complaint I've heard about them. But there's one for sale about 2.5-ish hours from me. It's an old snowshoe ski resort bus. I think it came from Illinois, and it spent most of its life at Snowshoe. So, I mean, it wasn't really a school bus all that long, if it was ever a school bus. You can tell where they took some of the stuff off of it. It's really a decent price, too. I just don't have the money for it, and it's all painted blue. It's got snowflakes on it and stuff, and don't really know if I want it. The seats inside are also down the side of the bus. They're not like a normal school bus. They're actually all facing the middle, so I'd have to do something about that for insurance purposes, because they think it's a party bus, and Yeah. The own a 3800 with a Bluebird or a Thomas body. I was just thinking last night about how much I regretted selling 147. I should have just kept it and let it sit right there and put all my crap in it and let it wait until 2029 and, you know, just slowly put some money into it and fix it up over those years. And I really regret selling that bus. Yeah, you didn't really see these very much in Mississippi, to my understanding. I've been to Mississippi once for my cousin's wedding, but I didn't go school bus hunting. I was in middle school, so. 721 and 732 are nice buses. I've driven 721, never drove 732, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Let's see. Yeah, SBCVs probably drive about the same as the CE, I would assume, but they the driver's areas are a lot different. Where the CE was designed, you know, the body was designed around the chassis. The SBCV did not have that sort of advantage, so it was a little bit different. Yeah, if my insurance wasn't a pain in the butt, I'd probably still have 147. I'd love to see what I could do with, or what I would have done with it over the last year since, you know, I sold it. I would never own the blue bus, but that's okay because I really wasn't in love with that thing anyways, which is why I sold it. But I'm glad I had the experience. There's the CRV, of course. Some of you asked a couple questions about that in past videos. But yeah, that looks good. I'm very happy with how that's turned out. LEDs will be going up there fairly soon. I don't know when, but it's starting to look like a school bus again. Instead of a, well, I don't know if I can say that word on here. I know it's not a bad word, but it's the wrong set of keys. Do I have those keys? No, I do not. They are in the car still. So I don't want you all to see the junk I have in my car. It's a little bit cluttered right now. I also have my DOT physical sitting right there. It's covered, but I just don't want my personal information on there. I would have done a video on this earlier and uploaded it, but I took this over to where I live to do all this work because that way I could go inside in the air conditioning. It's been hot, and AC's not been working the best in my apartment. Got a portable air conditioner that I think I might wire a house outlet into here, and that way I can have some sort of air conditioning in here at some point. But that's how we've been surviving. But I took this over to the apartment so that way I could do it there and be able to go inside and take breaks when I needed to. So, man, that looks good. But I didn't want to dox myself, essentially. Somebody's already tried to do that, so I'm okay. I don't need to share all of my personal information with everybody on here. That's why I drove it back over here before I made a video. Here's my big old trash bag that I've been putting all the stuff from this project in. So, yeah. Let's see, I got to catch up on some comments. I started talking about some stuff. The SBCV, yeah, the 3300. Yeah, that bus I was talking about earlier, the blue one that's for sale a few hours from me. Yeah, that's what it is. It's from Snowshoe Resort. What's going on, Bus 3 Productions? Hey, John. Yeah, there is a party going on here, if that's what you want to call it. I'm going to throw these in the ignition. And just walk around the outside. I have some stuff I'd like to talk about here. But I'm going to answer some questions first. We do not have any propane buses. We are 100% diesel. Let's see. Yeah, 147 having 3060 was kind of rare, but that was standard here in West Virginia. So my whole thing about, like, I wish I wouldn't have sold that bus was that I won't be able to find another one like it because there are no more full-sized 466, really any more full-size Bluebird Internationals left in service at all in the state. The last one is actually on public surplus. Now it's a Pendleton County bus, 7704 and 177. They're both Bluebird Internationals. 177's an 02, 7704 is an 04, but they're manual transmissions, and they also have a 35-passenger manual transmission C2 on there, which is neat. The last one in the state as well. I've done a couple of videos down there. One of them actually never uploaded. Well, I uploaded it, but it's not public yet. Waiting on whether but I'm debating on whether or not I want to do more school bus hunter videos. I'm not sure if it's the best idea because it's not something I necessarily want to encourage anymore. I just don't want that responsibility. But yeah, there's basically where I'm going with that is there's no more 466 MD 3060 West Virginia spec Bluebird Internationals, which is what I want. There's no more left in service. Have to buy it on the secondhand market or something. And where 147 went, I'm thinking about reaching out to them and saying, hey, whenever you sell it, let me know. I'd like to buy it back. So probably be a few years from now, but you never know. They might. Thank you, John. I do think the paint did turn out very well. I'm very happy with it. And no, I am not enjoying the weather from Texas. Well, I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'll take this over wintertime anytime because I could still do stuff like this. In the wintertime, I'd just be SOL. So I'm very happy that I can sit here and do stuff like this in this weather. Well, John, you can keep the beer. I'm not much of a drinker. So another thing, this is kind of my own stupidity. You can kind of see it here. Right there, I got a little bit of overspray, and my smart self was like, oh yeah, I'll just take some graffiti remover to it. And you can see some kind of up there too now I'm looking. But thinking, oh yeah, I'll just take some graffiti remover to it because that yellow paint should be good by now, right? Where it's spray paint, nope, it started coming off a little bit right there. So it's fine, you won't notice it unless you're really looking. But how's it going? To Humza? I don't know how you pronounce that. So Bluebird 3800 in Minnesota with the black window post, DT466 5-speed manual. Ooh, that's nice. I would like to do the black window post on this bus. I've got a picture of some primer. I was gonna actually ask John. I just forgot because he's my school bus guru. If I have a question about any of this, he's usually the first person I ask. Or, I have a resource of a bunch of people that know what they're doing before I do it. So hopefully I don't make any terrible mistakes. But basically where these are aluminum, these window frames are aluminum. Paint doesn't stick to aluminum very well, so you need what's called an etching primer, if my research is right. So you need to shoot these with etching primer and then paint them, and then you got to paint these. So I got a picture of some primer I need to send you, John, see if that'd be the right one. I don't think it's etching primer, but it's something similar. I think it's specifically for aluminum, but I'll shoot you that message if I remember. How's it going, Austin? How do I feel driving a school bus for kids? I like it. I really do like the job. I wish that, school bus drivers in general made a little more. There's a hole in the ground right there. Huh. So don't bring the bus back this far. Well, I mean, it's still solid, but I wouldn't put a bus on there. It's good to know because that is where I used to park this one, and then the blue bus went here after I sold 147. So because this is 147's old spot, but yeah, I like driving the kids. I like driving the newer buses. It's neat. I think the newer buses are a lot of fun to drive still. They're a lot more comfortable, but I like the air conditioning in 819. But my favorite part really is interacting with the kids because honestly, you do just hear some of the funniest stuff from them, and being there for them, and just really, I mean, it's very humbling to be able to work with kids and get to know them, and those students that you kind of get close to a little bit, like they get on the bus, say, hey Adam, how's it going, how's your day been, it's like, that's nice, because I had that kind of relationship with my bus driver, and we're still good friends to this day. He was a good influence on me, and I want to be a good influence on my kids, so I really do enjoy that. How's it going, Amir? 466. Let's see, 2002 First Gen International 466 with 545. Does not sound like a bad bus at all. I do like the First Gen CEs a lot. I've driven Noah's on the road, and I drove another one that was a 466 MD 3060 around Mike and B's. That was really nice. What's going on, Rudy? Thomas HDX with the 8.3 Cummins. That'd be a good one, too. I'm just not really a fan of HDXs, personally. I can see why people like them. I just don't really care for them. Wouldn't vinyl rivets stick with the paint better? Could be wrong. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, we have the option to bring the buses home, but there's like stipulations to that. It has to be either along the route, or it has to be, the house has to be closer to the route than one of the bus garages, essentially. Even then, they want everybody, if possible, they want everybody out of the main bus garage, but it's not really possible because it's a little small to hold everybody and everybody's cars, while we're all out on our routes and stuff. So that's why we've still got the old garage that I park at, and then another one, east of here. So on the eastern side of the county. Yeah, the 2 manual buses on public surplus, I really do like them. I've seen them in person a few times. I thought about the C2. I just really don't have money for it right now. Also, where I drive a C2 every day, I know it's different enough where it's a 35 passenger, no lift, and it's, which mine doesn't have a lift either, and it's a manual. It'd be different enough. The specs are wildly different. I think it'd be neat, but I don't really want a manual, or I don't want another manual right now. I've got one, and nobody wants to drive it because they're scared of it. So, it's hard for me to kind of share it with my friends and stuff. So, that's why I kind of want an automatic. What I'd really like to get next is A3RE. I've got my eyes on some, but I don't have money for anything right now. I'm just kind of waiting on them to retire and see if I got the money for them. But I've got some pretty big life changes coming soon. So, Alan Jackson shirt, but I got some pretty big life changes coming soon. Very positive life changes, but it's where probably a lot of my money's going to end up going. There's even a chance that I might have to sell this one for that, but it's all good stuff. So I'm going to keep this, if at all possible. But sometimes you just got to focus on what's more important. So stuff happens. My bus has an air door. So we'll go up in here. No rod in between here and there. And I don't know if you can see, there's a little blue button right there. That's the door switch. Things have been pretty good, Rudy. How about yourself? Yeah, I mean, if you buy a bus, Chris, you do whatever you want with it. It's your bus. Don't worry about what I think or what anybody else thinks. A lot of people that I've talked to, like a lot of my close friends, I shouldn't say a lot of them, a few of them don't like the black hood or the black grill or black headlight bezels. I don't care. It's my bus, Some people aren't a fan of the hubcaps there, or the chrome or the silver ring around the wheels. It's not their bus, it's mine. It's your bus. You do what you want with it. It's your blank canvas. It's what makes you happy. Yeah, A3REs, Bluebirds. Yeah, that's what I'd really like to get. 1 year work anniversary. Nice. I hit 4 years at the bus garage back in March, and my other job will be 4 years in July. So 1 year's a pretty big milestone, though. This is the longest I've ever worked anywhere. So I mean, I'm not that old though. So it's kind of, I'm still in my 20s. So that I haven't had the chance to stay anywhere 20 years yet. Just go on publicsurplus.com, look under school buses, and you'll see them. I don't have the ability to do any links or anything right now. So if somebody wants to go on there and look them up and throw them in there, go for it. I've got plenty of pictures of them on my Flickr. If you go to my Flickr and go to the Pendleton County album, Pendleton County Schools, it's buses 3508, 177, and 7704. 3508 is the C2. So, and the way Pendleton County does their bus numbers, it's capacity model year. So 3508, it's a 2008 C2. It's a 35 passenger. 177, that it's actually an 02, but it's numbered as an 01. 01, 77 passenger body, but it's got a lift, so it's not seated for 77 passengers. Yeah, Ironton keeps their buses immaculate. I really love their fleet, and I would like to have one of their Freightliners someday, but probably at least another 5 years before they retire them. They're loaded, loaded. The Freightliners are white roof, air conditioning. I mean, they maintain them very, very well. So let's see, what would I do if I bought an FS? Probably pretty much the same thing I did with this one. Although I'm kind of thinking, I think this one's going to stay the one that I do all of my modifications and stuff to, the LEDs, the show me flasher, all that fun stuff. But the next one, I might do some personal touches here and there, but I'll probably just keep it original. So I kind of want to find one that I really like, that I want to keep original. So I'll learn to drive the manual. If you want to hang sometime, I'll be up there toward in 2026. I mean, if we got like a bus meet or something going on, I think that'd be a good idea, but I'm just kind of apprehensive about meeting with people that I don't know personally. It's nothing against you. It's just a personal safety kind of thing. Will I grow my bus collection and start collecting school buses when I buy them? I mean, I would like to, but you don't make much on school bus driver salary or at the other job that I work at, driving trucks. So can't really do that. And I got other things I got to worry about, like I was talking about earlier. I got some life changes coming on here soon. Very positive changes, but very expensive ones too. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the only bus that I had for a few years from now too. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. That's where I've got some family living, so that's neat, in that general area. '0708 Gillig on the main route with the Cummins 8.9 Allison B500R. I don't know much about the Gilligs. That's what our local transit authority has, TTA, Tri-State Transit Authority, or the Transit Authority, depending on what each bus says. I don't know why they keep changing it back and forth, but yeah, that's what ours has. It's all Gillig Advantages. That's really the only one I can identify because, because of TTA, but I will, I'll show the air door here in a moment. Did I have to mess with the air supply going towards the door? No, this one, 681 slammed a lot. I mean, it slammed hard. This one kind of does. From what I remember, 681s was rough. See, that's not too bad. Go ahead and start it. There we go. There's the door switch. Push up to open and push down to close. So, yeah, this one don't really slam, but 681s would slam. I mean, slam very hard. So what we'll do is we'll go look at the warning lights with this new paint. Why not? L&D, I've heard of L&D Productions down in Georgia. I watch him a little bit. Bus 3, yeah, that'd be nice. I don't know what Bus 3 from your district is, but it's school bus ownership, like I was talking about earlier. I'm not sure if you were here, but school bus ownership is one of those things that's a lot of fun, but it's a lot of headache too. I've had a huge learning process with this. Very positive. It's actually affected my career positively too, so. Well, I appreciate that, Bus 3. That, you know, I'm very happy with my Bus 2. TOO, not like the number 2. Am I going to therapy driving a school bus in the next 5 years? Maybe, I don't know. Texas Street Man's where I get a lot of my advice from too, so. 2010s Visions look better than 2020s. Yeah, I agree. I think my favorite generation of Bluebird Vision is probably right there around like 2015 to 2018, when they changed the roof cap and the grill and the headlights. They didn't change it to what it is now, but they changed it a little bit, like with the little dot lights. I actually prefer these, but the dot lights are nice. They still had the bird and the streamer, not a full length, but you know, they still had a streamer on them, and I think the white roof still came down about that far. Maybe not quite, but thank you, Liam. Yeah, Dan, man, that's kind of what's looking like might happen with me too. The whole big life changes and stuff. So something in that general ballpark. We will probably end up getting HDX2s. I don't see us switching from Thomas anytime soon. Yeah, CSX. Yeah, exactly. He's a good guy, though. I really like him. He knows my dad and my old bus driver. I've met him a few times. He knows who I am. I know who he is. He actually gave me a tour at TTA, so back around the time I graduated high school, somewhere around that time. Actually, turn that back on. We will do that, and that, and that. Actually, we'll do this so we can see the turn signals in the headlights. I actually have a die-cast Bluebird Freightliner. I used a Bluebird International and a Thomas Freightliner and swapped the front end, so maybe I'll do a video on that at some point. I think I've showed it off in a couple videos as like a comparison. But well, if I had 681 right now, I wouldn't have 23. So basically why I have 23 is because I lost the auction on 681. 3 months later, I still had all this money I wanted to spend on a school bus, so I bought 23 because it came up in public surplus. So that's why I had this one. So if I had 681, it would be sitting right here right now instead of 23. And I'm not sure if I would have done all this modification and stuff to 681. I might have, but I really don't know. 2011 Bluebird A3 FE. I do like Bluebird A3 FEs. I'm an RE kind of guy, but FEs are pretty nice too. Am I still going to drive bus in the next 15 years? Probably. We'll see. Just really depends on how life goes, you know. I have a job offer to do something that's not drive a school bus. I'm still kind of weighing that, but we'll see. Yeah, buying a brand new bus is a maintenance nightmare. It's kind of sad when owning an older bus, if I can talk. Owning an older bus like this is a lot cheaper, just from a maintenance standpoint. Yeah, John, I don't really have much experience driving a Vision. I drove a 2018, like 15 minutes for the Ohio Bus Rodeo whenever I helped deliver buses to and from the rodeo that they actually used in the rodeo. So I drove a 2018 there. It was neat. And then I didn't mind it. Probably my least favorite of the newer conventionals, but I still liked it. And then I drove a brand new 2024 Vision last year in West Virginia's rodeo. So, let's see here. 1985 Carpenter International. Nice. What route am I going to go for after 819? I don't know. Depends on what comes up. I have my Class B. I would have gotten my Class A because it would have helped my other job, where I drive semis there, but not with trailers. I drive box trucks and stuff. But having Class A would have helped there, and they would have trained me for it, and I should have done it, but I was a little bit nervous to do it, so I never did it. And then they changed the laws, and kind of you know, kicking myself for that now. Bus 3 is LED headlights, Maximum brand, nice. I've never driven a 2026 Vision. I've driven a 2024, which was, I feel like it's close enough. I know there's a couple little differences, like the steering wheel and the LED headlights and stuff, but I've never driven a 2026, but I like the 2024. I didn't actually take the 2024 out on the road. I just took it around the rodeo course, so didn't really get the full experience, but I liked it. Yeah, I know I likes to keep his buses mostly original and do some like personal touches and stuff, which I respect that, you know. What I do is not necessarily his cup of tea, and that's fine. You know, everybody has their own opinion. That's cool. Yeah, the warning lights will be LED here soon enough. I'll probably swap the stop sign over eventually too. I wanted to get all this repainting done, and I got the Show Me flasher wiring ran. I just need to run it to the unit and install the unit and all that stuff, and I need to test the lights and make sure there's no backfeed towards the unit or towards the Show Me flasher unit or the warning light flasher unit when one is on and the other one is not. So I need to basically just test all that before I start plugging wires together. No, I'm not going to do a burnout. I'm not going to do burnout. Let's see. Oh yeah, no. Whenever I was at the rodeo, I asked about how they like their Bluebirds, and I got the answer of these things are junk. So they are not a fan of them. They have, I know you know better than I do. You have their fleet better memorized than I do, but I know they've got some 2019s, 2020s, I think. I know they got 2020 REs. They got some 2022 Visions and some 2024 Visions, so from what I can remember off the top of my head. How's it going, Dante? If I could get in there and do the whole Class A thing right now, didn't have to pay for it, I would do it. But my other job won't pay for it anymore, so I'd have to do it out of my own pocket, and I don't have the money to do that. From what I've heard, we have some Evolved C2s on order, so find out if they come in as Evolved C2s or not. Whatever, change what back to gray? Will I give 23 an air horn? I will answer that question here. I will show you. I will answer this question visually. Maybe there's some screws in these cup holders and stuff, but in here, these front dome lights don't work, so is it that way or this way? There we go. In that blanket there is a Hadley air horn, similar, same style to the one that 681 had, and yes, it will be getting installed in this thing. So the FX2 and HDX2, I think they're neat. They needed a body update. I'm sad to see the old Thomas body go, and I'm not necessarily a fan of them because all of my problems with the HDX, they didn't change. The whole driver's area in the HDX is not my favorite, and they should have revamped that. They should have revamped that a long time ago, and it's still staying the same even to the HDX2, and I don't like the mirrors in the HDX, and the ones on the HDX2 look even smaller. So I don't like that. I don't like the size of the mirrors on the HDX as it is. The ones on the HDX2 look smaller, so it's I'm not necessarily a huge fan of it, but I think it's neat that we're getting some different offerings from Thomas now. Nice. Bus 3 got rear body work done. Nice. Yeah, the modern strobing LED lights, I think that's what I'm going to try and do. Now that I've redone all that front roof cap, I'm going to redo the back. Now those LED clearance lights are looking more appealing, especially since these guards are all rusty too. Now I need to get new guards for it. It's all just, I want to do this and I want to do that, but we'll see whenever I actually get around to doing it. I probably will get around to doing it at some point, but it might be a little while. Well, if I could get another bus, what would I buy? Would I keep it forever? 147 I plan on keeping forever, but you know, life happens sometimes. Can't do everything, you know, the way you want to do it. Sometimes you got to do things the way you got to do it. So I'd probably buy A3RE All-American Bluebird. I'd like to have one with an 8.3 Cummins. And air conditioning would be nice, but not required. I'd also buy one with a 3126 or a 5.9. So basically anything that, whatever engine's in it is fine. I'd like to have something that's not a 3126, ideally, because I've already got a 3126. So I'd like to have something a little different. But, you know, if I can only find one with 3126, that's okay too. So that's what I would probably buy next, and I would like to keep it forever, but, you know, sometimes life happens. Yeah, the EFX, I mean, that's kind of the way that a lot of buses were back in the day, you know. The rear ends are all the same on the front engine transits as they were the conventional, so you couldn't really tell unless you really looked at it. So, or walked around it or saw the front of it or whatever. So, what's going on, NT Central VEN line? The bottom stoplight is not working. The wire is broken, so let me go over here and show you. I just haven't gotten around to fixing it yet, is all it is. That wire's broken right there, so top one works, bottom one doesn't. Yes, Kanawha County did get rid of the 2x1 seating. All of theirs at the standard seating now. I'm not sure if that was their choice or the state's choice, but that is just how it happened. So. I might do a video like that for 819. You know, the start of the year. I know they're actually using it this summer. I was like, oh, I don't want them to use it, but you know, I don't like it when other people use my bus. I'm just kind of particular about it, but I'm not always opposed to it. But you know, I kind of figured they might. But where it's from our first order of air-conditioned buses, which is the main thing we're concerned about. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't, but the thing is, all of our brand new buses that they were going to use this summer have all had to be sent back to the dealer because they keep having stuff go wrong with them, and which is kind of sad. That's how the industry has gone as a whole, not just for Thomas. I'll probably start this again later, but just want to sit here and talk about stuff for a little while and not just walk around the bus a million times. But so basically, they've had to pull 819 and use it as a spare for one of our 2025s. The driver actually ended up messaging me because he parks, during the school year, he parks over the same bus garage I do. He knows how I am about my bus. He said, well, they put me in your bus for the rest of the summer, which is only 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, summer school will be over. And then 819 will be probably parked for the rest of the summer unless they pull it for a field trip. But he said that they put him in it for the rest of the summer, and he's going to clean it and stuff for me. So he's somebody I trust with it, so that's good. 23's cross arm crack. Yes, it still is. I guess we'll go out there and look at it. I will show you where it is cracked. It is cracked right here. So you can see right there it's cracked. I'm not really focusing, but you can see where it's broken right there. So that is where it's broke. I need to find another one, but Freightliner cross arms are kind of hard to come by. So, and it's just a matter of whenever I get around to it. It still works just fine. I could probably put some JB Weld or something in there. Some super glue would probably be fine too. And just fix that one. That's probably what I'll end up doing. But I'm not too worried about it. It still works. And even if it broke off, I could fix it. So no big deal. I do plan on painting this entire thing. After I got that done, I was like, dang, I really need to do this whole thing. So I got some new cat decals from Texas Street Man, and they're actually a little bit nicer, a little bit different. So I'll show that off whenever I get this repainted. I do plan on doing this basically probably front to back, but first what I need to do, luckily this requires no climbing, which is the main thing, but it requires actual body work. So I want to do this whole panel here like this panel right here under. I mean, it's not going to be the entire thing. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but still. Just going to do pretty much tape it off up to here and redo all of this. And I'll redo this panel because of this spot, those scratches, these scratches. That tape needs redone anyways. That reflector is kind of, doesn't look the best. But there's a hole in the body right here, so I need to fix that. And this is getting a little soft, so pull that panel off inside in the corner because I can take that out with screws. Don't have to drill out any rivets or anything. So pull that panel out, put something back there, Bondo it, and repaint it. So that needs addressed first, and then you got a million rock chips and stuff on the side of the bus here. Like these, maybe rock chips. Yeah. That's all primer beneath the paint. And this, as much as I hate to cover this up, stuff like this just doesn't look the best, where it's all like scarred up and stuff. So, but you got a bunch of rock chips like here, and you got some crap here, and right above here. And I'm probably going to put a Bluebird plate with the city names on it. And then I got something to put here that John also made me. He made me some new lettering for here and here. He got me something for the top of the hood. We've got new roof logos, because that one is, can't really see it from down here, but there's a hole on it. So part of it's missing right on the wing. So that's no fun. Thank you, Dan. We'll see how it goes. HDX2 and EFX2 could have been offered with the extended bodies like Thomas offered with the C2s. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, and they probably will do something like that. I think IC it'd be neat if IC were to bring back the FE, but I know they won't because they discontinued the RE, so they're not going to bring back the FE. The only thing they're going to focus on is the CE, because a lot easier if you just have one assembly line to make one kind of bus, you know, instead of 2 or 3 kinds. So that's why Thomas is going towards making the HDX2 and the EFX2 on the C2 platform instead of its own platform. So I have an HDX we never used. We bought it from Durham School Services in 2019 when we got going after 5 years sitting to sell it. I steered it and it was hard to steer. Well, I mean, power steering's probably out in it. That's what I'd assume. What kind of buses did Cabell have in the past? We had a lot of different things. Like back when I was in kindergarten, we still had a bunch of early 90s 3800s. We still had a couple S-Series clinging on. I never got to ride any of them, but we had TC2000 FEs, TC2000 REs. We had Amtran REs, Amtran Genesises, Ward 3800s, which 594 was still in service whenever I was, in elementary school. First couple years I was in school, still in service. So we had Ward Internationals. We had other Bluebird Internationals, ton of Bluebird Internationals. We had one order of Thomas Internationals. We had a lot of Thomas rear engines. Probably about it, really. All-American REs. And then whenever I started kindergarten, it's kind of whenever the C2 started filtering in, so. Did we have a Ward 3800 and Wayne Lodestar? Yes, we did. Way back in the day. I mean, 594, my old Ward 3800 was a Cabell County bus. So we had, I think, 2 or 3 orders of those. 93, which is what 594 was. I think 91, 90 or 89, I think, was like 1990, 1989, 1993, I think were all Ward Internationals. We also had Ward GMCs back in the day. We had 3 of them, 578, 579, and 580 were the bus numbers on those. Repaint, refreshing my doors. Yeah, I would like to do that. It's just getting around to it, and also my doors have significant rust on them, so I just like to replace them. But Bluebird Freightliners apparently have a specific door size, so if we lived in an ideal world, I'd like to get an air jackknife door for it, but I'd have to replace the stepwell too, because the jackknife door needs somewhere to go, so when it's open. Do I plan on buying another bus anytime soon? I'd like to, but life is happening and probably won't be able to for a while. But we'll see. Maybe if I find a good deal on one or something. What's the experience of driving 819? Pretty much like driving a C2, but it's got LED headlights, nice driver's seat, and air conditioning. It's nice. Compared to 799, let's say, build quality is not as good, but the options kind of make up for it. It's just not as good of a bus as 799 is. But I would rather have 819 because it's got nicer options on it. What made me want to buy 23? I've really liked Bluebird Freightliners for a few years before I bought this, and I'd always wanted one. It was a bucket list bus, and I went ahead and bought it because I didn't get 681, so I figured 23 would be a really neat thing that I could kind of do my own thing with. Even though originally the plan with this one was to keep it original because I thought it was rare, and then I realized it really wasn't, so I was like, I'll just do my own thing with it. Was the crack from when we replaced the hood? No, it's been like that since I've owned the bus. So, yeah. If you're talking about the cross arm. East Allen County Schools, my neck of the woods, is mostly C2s. Prior to being mostly C2s, they Bluebird Internationals, All-Americans, ICFEs, and ICCEs. That sounds like a nice range, or not range, variety there. I wish we had ICs, but we've never owned an IC in Cabell County, and our newest Bluebirds were 2004s, and our oldest Thomases were 2004s as well. I don't think that would work. Cross arm, or C2 cross arm. I mean, you might be able to get it to work, but I don't think so. What's it like to drive a C2 versus a CE? CEs don't have as many blind spots, but you do have. Otherwise, aside from the blind spots, I think you have more visibility in a C2. I like the way the driver's areas are set up on the CEs better. I'm just used to a C2 though, so I'd take one over the CE. If I had more experience in a CE, I'd probably prefer it though. I just don't have enough experience in one. The third gens are really nice too. I would love to see IC bring back the FE and RE. Me too. Yeah. I would like to see the I'd like to see the return of those, the ICFE and the ICRE, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't need to put new tires on 23. It's got pretty good tires all the way around. I've actually replaced all the tires on it already, so I do like the new decals, the cat decals, a lot better. I think they're really nice. Yes, I do plan on putting the seats back in here, but it's a little cluttered. Oh, there's me. Hello. But it's a little cluttered back there at the moment. So I have to find somewhere to put all that stuff. But I got to move all that stuff out of here, replace the floor, and then put the seats in. So I basically have one more summer after this one that this one will be unseated. And then hopefully I can work on getting this thing cleared out a little bit. I'm probably going to just throw some of the stuff away that I don't need. Then like some of the stuff I probably shouldn't have bought. Some of the parts and stuff that I bought in that lot that I really don't need. The other stuff I'm going to throw in the storage unit, which is already pretty full, but whatever I can't throw in the storage unit, I'm either going to put on Marketplace or throw it away. So, yeah, I need to get on that, but I got to get this thing cleared out, and then maybe starting this winter and a little bit of next winter, I can get the floor redone, and then put the seats back in it, and then January 2027 put historic insurance on it and be able to drive it around with seats again. Bus 3 Productions, that sounds like a good idea as long as you've got permission to be there. That's the only thing I would say. Yeah, I didn't really have any knowledge of cat engines before I bought this one either. I mean, I really have even less knowledge of Cummins, or 5.9s at least, but we had 3 All-American REs, or 2003s, that had cats in them. I didn't even know that until about the time I graduated, so I thought they all came with the Cummins, but nope. I really like those buses. I drove them in service too, so we don't have them anymore though. We probably won't be doing a bus ride on stream tonight. I don't have anywhere to put my phone that you all could see out the window because my holder there, you can see where it was, but it won't stick to the window anymore. So we had manuals way back when, like in the 70s. I mean, when my bus driver started in the late 80s, we had like the very last of them. He drove a few of them, but like the very last of them were getting phased out around the time he started in like 88, 89, somewhere around there. So it's been a long time since Cabell County ever had any manuals. See, third gen CE sells really well. I'd like to see them make new buses. Yeah, I think it'd be nice, but it's just easier to make one bus. Am I planning on taking a longer bus ride? Maybe. Whenever I upload the videos, I mean, I know I had to divide it up in 3 parts. I probably could have edited it all together, but the way the way the GoPro films it, from what I was told by Cameron Safety Liner C2, it automatically breaks it up. Although I filmed a test video and it stayed 20 minutes long or so, so I don't know if there's something to do with that, but he said basically it breaks it up. I just didn't want to edit it all together. I just figured it'd be, more palpable that way too, to put it into 3 videos. That way you could watch one part. Maybe I don't want to watch the next part until tomorrow, so I'll watch the next part tomorrow, whatever. So, but they really didn't do that well. I do it for, I don't do it for the views, but I still try to do the stuff that you all want to see, so that I can do. Do any of my coworkers know I make videos? Some of them do, yeah. Yeah, my kids, some of them do know I have a YouTube channel. One of my coworkers that does know actually ended up telling one of my kids that he had on a field trip that I've got a YouTube channel, and then everybody knew. So it is what it is. It's not something I really put out there, but I put these videos out there, so I can't expect people not to find it. They've been pretty positively receptive to it. It's not like that's weird. You make videos about school buses. It's like, yeah, I'm your school bus driver, so what else am I going to make videos about? But can I give us a tour of 23? Oh, there's been plenty of tours of 23 on my channel. It's getting a little dark right now, so we'll go ahead and start her back up. But I have 4 cats, by the way. I've got an orange cat named Guppy, a calico named Allie, which you all have seen them on the streams. And then I've got a white cat named Ira and a striped and white cat named Poppy. Guppy's the only boy out of all of them. I need to do that. Here's the tour of 23, which you all have seen me walk around the outside probably 50 times. But there's a bunch of crap in here. I'm probably going to get rid of it. That bike's probably going to go on Marketplace. That driver's seat, I'll probably put it on Marketplace or just give it to somebody. This part is still mostly good. It's just the base I needed from it. So I'm keeping that windshield just in case I ever need it. Those windows are probably going in the trash. I'm keeping that storage locker. And then these tables are probably going to Marketplace. And then a bunch of this stuff is probably going to go in the scrap bin. I really don't need it. And I can't find anybody who does. So it's probably just going to go to scrap. And all this stuff I'm probably going to keep. So these things I'm keeping. But wheelchair, I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I might throw it away. I've already got a home for the coolant reservoir there. So I just need to send it out to them. Front dome lights don't work, or else I'd show everything up here. But awesome bus 3. We'll ever do a yard tour. I plan on doing it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because there's a lot. We have like 150 buses. It's all C2s, HDXs, and we have 1 green power. So if I was a bus, what bus would I be? Bluebird International 3800, 681 essentially, but I'd have air conditioning and I don't know, probably about it. Huh, that's pretty neat. What would I do if I had a StarCraft Dodge? I'd drive it to Cameron's house and park it there and leave. Put the keys in the mailbox or something. So that way he could have it. I'm sure he'd love that. What do you want to show me about Bus 3? Exactly, Cameron. There you go. There's your StarCraft Dodge for you. I'll bring it to you. And we'll pop the hood. You know what? Thinking about the, what was it? You asked if that cross arm happened whenever we changed the hood. No. This right here bent and broke off. That's what it was. There was a mishap with the cross arm. That came from 147. Forgot about that. There we go. There was a mishap with the cross arm, but it wasn't the cross arm itself. It was the magnet. I will tell you, that school bus ownership is very expensive. If you just want to sit here and store it and insure it, you know, that's fine. That's not the worst. The monthly costs aren't necessarily or not even the purchase price half the time is the bad part. It's maintenance, it's the fuel, everything that comes along with it. So that's really and if you want to do any modifications to it. Like that project there, I actually got the yellow paint for, you know, good deal. But like the black paint and all the paper and the tape, I mean, it's a cheap project. That's probably still like $100 just to do all that. These LEDs, you know, I think these were like $20 a piece, and there's 4 of them on this bus. So that's $80 just for the turn signals there, and those were cheap. Those were like $2 or $10 for the pair. But those clearance lights, whenever I redo them, that's going to be like a $300 project right there for the clearance lights and the shields. These came off of junk buses. The brake lights did, so they weren't as expensive. The reverse lights were like $80, I think, for the both of them. And then you got tires for 2 rims, which 2 rims were given to me because all 4 rims back here are rusted pretty bad. So you got 4 rims. Well, 2 that I bought, and then 4 recap tires was like $1,500. And then these front tires, which are cheapo brand, I don't even remember what they are, Roadmaster something. Those were like $330 back in 2021. Soon after I bought the bus, to have them installed. I knew a guy who did the ones on the back, and he didn't charge me anything, even though I tried to give him money, but still, I mean, to have those installed would have been another couple $100 probably. So they're looking at $1,700 plus. You're looking at $2,000 just for tires. You know what I mean? I bought this bus for just over $2,000. So and then the hood was $750, and then I bought everybody's dinner that helped me with it. Cameron knows about all that. So there's a lot that goes into school bus ownership. Got to make sure you have the time, the money, and the patience for it. I've got none of that. But you know what? I'm still vibing. I'm still having fun with it. I would like if we had a variety of buses. It'd be nice. You know, I kind of miss 799 as well. I like 819 a lot. But there are things I miss about 799, things I don't miss about it. So 819 creaks and rattles a lot more. I have a lot more kids on the high school route, which is not a bad thing. My kids are good, and they actually treated my bus a lot better too, which I was kind of surprised. I figured all the kids would be kind of rough with it, but no, my kids now, they're pretty good with it. I mean, they leave trash on the floor, but they don't leave it in between the seats or anything, so that's good. But still, you know, that's more of a I need to be a little bit more strict on them sort of thing. It's a me issue. I feel when I first got 819, I was very happy. That first video I did of it was pretty soon after I got the keys to it. I hadn't driven it on a route yet, so I was still very fresh of, oh yeah, I got a newer bus, new route, you know, close to home. So well, I mean, Chris, you could get a long bus for that, but a short bus would do just the same thing, but it's all up to personal preference. Short buses are easier to drive. Easier to maneuver, I should say. But I think long buses are a lot more fun to drive, which is kind of why I focused on long buses. But I like a little bit of a challenge, you know. I'm just a lot more comfortable in these than I am shorter buses. Where I drive these a lot, whenever I drive a shorter bus, I'm kind of like second guessing myself, think I'm longer than I am, and all that fun stuff. Do I always clean my bus on Friday? I just clean it whenever I have time. I don't have really any set schedule. I could do a better job cleaning it, really. I need to do it more often, but it's all right. Yeah, Chris, I had my original plan for 681 back when I was in like middle school or like high school was I wanted to convert it because I saw these things about people converting their buses. I thought that looks awesome. I'm going to do that and travel the country. And then I grew up and realized there's a lot of money and time and energy and know-how that goes into that I don't have. So I was like, I'll just buy it and keep it as a school bus. Because my brother was also like, well, I mean, if you convert it, is it really the same bus? No, it's not. So would I ever get a Type A? Actually, I kind of would like to have a Type A. I'd probably get one on a GMC Savannah chassis. I drive those box trucks a lot for work. I really like them, and I'd kind of like to have a bus on that chassis. So, wow, 273,000 miles. They've got money's worth out of it already. That's for sure. Tell me some fun facts about Bus 3. Yeah, build date. You got the build date. See if you can find the rear end gear ratio, and I'll show you how to look for that. Should be up here on this tag up here. Let me get my driver's dome out. It should be up there on that tag. I think. Maybe not. No. Okay. Well, it should be on the All Americans because our All Americans have it that way. So it should be on that. Or data tag. Our All Americans have a data tag up here, so I don't know if it's the same way or not. I wish we had EFXs. I really don't care for Minotaurs. If I got a, I mean, I probably would buy a Minotaur, but I'd rather have a Bluebird, Microbird. Yeah, Chris, I can agree with that. Has a black metal tag above the blue one. It might have that on there. Maybe not, though. If not, tell me the GVWR. What's GVWR on that bus? That should definitely be in there. We'll turn the strobe on. There it is. Yeah, kind of. Do this. .29. Yeah, that's about normal. I think that's what 681 was rated for as well. This one is 4.63. So I wish it had better rear end gears, but I think the issue that it's got is the fact that the transmission is a little too small for what I want. There we go. See the strobe pretty well there. I agree with that, Chris. Oh yeah, 819 driving that. That really wasn't even like that bad of a storm that I had to deal with. I went to a resort up there. There's a Stonewall Resort, so it's basically just like a hotel in a state park, essentially. But all the roads, it was like the resort, the roads to the resort itself were a little bit dicey, but I mean, the roads leading to there, like the roads on the resort property, I should say, were a little bit dicey, but the roads leading to there were all state routes, and then after that it was interstate all the way back home, so it really wasn't that bad. But I didn't have to deal with really any terrible weather. The only time I slid on the roads, I was trying to turn in a parking lot. Luckily there was another entrance farther ahead, But I went to turn the wheel and kept going straight, and then that happened to me while I was leaving a gas station. Both times I was empty, so I actually had to go to the Lewis County bus garage and get more coolant and get a coolant leak fixed. So that was neat. Got to talk to that guy. I've talked about that in a video already, but that guy was very cool. Let's see here. Are there any more comments? Let's see. Did I do something? Oh, there we go. Okay, so what's the order that everything on the transmission says? It's R&D, is it 421, is it 321? Well, it's a 2011, so it'll probably be a 2500. If it's a push button, it's probably a 3000. Yeah, if it's 2011, I don't think it would have anything other than 2500 or a 3000. So if it's got a like an actual shifter, like a lever shifter, like in a car, then it'd be a 2500. But if it's a push button, then it'd be a 3000. Yeah, John, I would like to get a different transmission for this. I would like to get a 10-speed ideally. If I'm going to change the transmission, I'm going to go big or go home. But I just don't know why it's got a 5-speed whenever it needs something a little more. I think it's just money savings, because other than that, everything on this bus is like basically stock unit as far as what our West Virginia dealer offered. So it had automatic chains on it. I'm not sure if that was a stock option. Ours had that too. But the red seats, the gray floor, that white roof, I'm pretty sure it was all stock options from our dealer. Basically, if you didn't specify you didn't want it, they'd put it on there. So yeah, I would like to see if I can get this to a cat dealer and see if they can re-rate it too. I think that'd be nice. See if I could get a little more horsepower out of it. Well, I think it's more with me doing a 819 driving video. I think it's more of a, I don't want to. That's a case where I don't want to ask for forgiveness, because I just don't want to. That's not a risk I'm willing to take, I'll put it that way. I could ask and they'd probably tell me no. You know what I mean? The idea of filming myself while I'm driving, probably, even if it's all hands-free, is probably going to be an automatic no. It'd be a, why would you want to do that? That's weird. It's just a conversation I'd rather avoid. Now, if my boss were to see this or something and say, hey, yeah, you can do that, it'd be something different, but I'm not gonna send this to him. I'm not gonna ask him if I can do that, because that's not a can of worms I really want to open. I'm pretty sure he still knows that I have a YouTube channel, but it might be something he forgets. I don't know. R&D 21, yeah. I think it's I think it would be a 2500. That's the read. I'm not sure. You can go on Bluebird Vantage. Type in. Where is this? You know how to use Vantage, right? Type in that body number on your bus. Mine is L050698. It can be different, but you can type that in, and it might tell you on there. Interesting. Our HDXs don't really have that bad tail swing at all. Newest bus in Cabell County, 870. Well, really, 858 to 870 are all 2025s, but the highest numbered is 870. Actually came from the factory numbered 868, but then had to be renumbered because they had an 862 Thomas C2, and we already had an 862 Green Power, so they renumbered 862 the C2 to 868, and then they renumbered 868 Special Needs C2 to 870. So, kind of fun fact on that. Does my boss watch my video? Probably not, but I'm not going to ask him to do these videos, because I just don't want to ask him to do it. So yeah, you can also put the VIN in. F421072. Yeah, if it's 2011, definitely wouldn't be a Lafayette bus or a Mount Pleasant bus. So I guess Rebellion makes sense. I would not buy a C2. The last one I would probably buy, is up for auction right now, and I'm not going to buy it. So it's that manual transmission one we talked about earlier. I don't have an air horn on here at the moment. I've got one that's not installed yet, but I got this one. That's the best I got. Bus 3 has green seats. I think that was the standard option for Ohio. Best memory inside 799. I don't know, I had a lot of good memories in that bus. I know it should have an engine option on there, but by 2011 we're just been a Cummins, that's all it'd say, I think. We had a couple of Mercedes HDXs, 708 and 709. They were 2008 models. I liked them. I drove them both. Yeah, 799 was a good bus. I miss it, but I'm very happy in 819. It probably does have a 6.7 Cummins. I think they offered those with the 8.3s and the 8.9s, but I'm not sure. Turn the light show off here. Totally dark in here, except for the parking brake light. Totally dark. Well, I mean, there's still a little bit of light. I can see better than you all can right now, just because the camera's not picking it all up. You have 680, what do you mean? Yeah. Yeah, I know, Jake. I do have interior LEDs. The front ones aren't because I haven't fixed the switch yet, but the rear dome lights are LED. I'm probably going to change them back because they're a little too bright. So, however, those you can brighten and dim. So I might keep those LED. I don't know. So, let's see. I still got the bulb somewhere, I think. I may have let him go with 147, I'm not sure. But turn these back on, because I normally just leave them on. Boop. Alrighty. We actually have retired all of our Visions 2010 to 2013. After that, we went back to C2s. Yeah. I wish we had something other than C2s that I could drive. I wish I still had 594 and 147. The blue bus was neat. I just wasn't really in love with it. I don't really miss that one all that much. 594 and 147 I do miss, though, especially 147. So that's, if I could choose one to bring back, that'd be the one I brought back. I really, really love that bus, but I felt like I had to let it go at the time, and I probably could have, survived with keeping it, even if I didn't really use it. But just taking the insurance off of it, or doing the same route I did with this one, and just taking the seats out and taking it through a different insurance agency. But I don't know. Just one of those things, I guess. You live and you learn. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. In the words of Hannah Montana. 23 sits happy at about 220, 210, 220. Cats run a little hot though, so really just depends on whatever engine you've got in yours. Interesting. What's the worst bus I've driven? I don't know. It's a good question. Yeah, sounds like it's slipping a little bit. I mean, I'd have to see a video or drive it myself or be on it whenever it happens, but powertrain is very similar to 676 or through 678, so a Cat 3126 with a 3060. Sometimes they just shift at high RPMs, like this one's that way. It's all the way at like 22,000 to 2200 whenever you're shifting it, and it's got a RPM governor or whatever it's called. It won't rev any higher. Rev limiter. It won't rev any higher than 2600. So I mean that's pretty high. Be shifting it, so it's usually right about whatever you're shifting. It's usually right there. Say it won't go any higher than 2700. It's usually about right there when about right there when I'm shifting it. Just depends on the gear, how I'm driving it. So. Yeah, I hear a lot of people that don't really care for the C7s, which the early C7s, to my understanding, weren't that bad. They were just similar to 3126. 3126s are good motors. Some people hate them just because they've got a cat logo on them, but people hate anything that they have no reason to hate. So that goes for more than just school buses too. Wow, that must have been that was a haul. Arizona to Georgia. Phew. Longest I've gone in a bus was around probably about the time I brought this home, 4.5 hours or so. Which I mean, this one's slow, so that's why it took 4.5 hours. By car, it takes about 3. But I also had to pull over a couple times because I thought it was overheating, didn't know cats were a little hot. So that's how I learned that. Yeah, I'll still have 819 next school year. So. Oh, that's up to you, bus 3. Turn the brights on. Boop. See, not much brighter. A little bit, not much. So I never really use the brights in this bus. These headlights are plenty bright enough. I love my Cat 3126. I think the later C7s where you had a lot of issues, to my understanding, there were certain components. I'm not super mechanically inclined. I just watch this guy on YouTube, sometimes named Adept Ape, who is a cat mechanic, knows them inside and out. But there were some like really important components having to do, I think, with the HUI system that 3126s had them on the outside, but the Cats had them on, or the C7s had them on the insides, and you couldn't replace just that component on the C7. You had to replace like a bunch of different parts just to replace that one. So on this one, it was a lot easier and a lot cheaper. It was like a common fail point, if I remember correctly. .681 went to Florida. It's a somebody's schoolie conversion now. Yes, that Adept Ape is the best resource for cat engines on here. I've learned a lot just by, I mean, kind of learned a lot. Like I said, I'm not super mechanically inclined, but what I have learned has been from him as far as cat engines go. Yeah, battery might be dead on that one, especially if it's been sitting for the summer. Or might have a shut-off switch in the battery box, but I wouldn't go mess with any of that. That's for a mechanic to do. nice. Does it suck not having my bus? 681? Yeah, kinda, but I'm very happy with 23 as well. This one's been a good bus for me. It's never really given me any major issues, so. Yeah, we had 4 HDXs with the 2000, or 3 HDXs, sorry, with the 04 HDXs. 3 2004 HDXs, if I can get that out right. 3 2004 HDXs with Cat C7s in them. Those were the last Cat engine buses we ever had, so. Have I done tours of anybody else's bus? I don't think so. I might have. Well, yeah, my friend Luke, I've done tours of, I think I did a tour of his bus. Maybe not. Maybe Noah is the only friend whose bus I've done tour videos of. I want to say no, but like I think there's somebody I have, but I can't think of any right off the top of my head. How long am I going to be live? I'm probably going to cut this off pretty soon. My phone's pretty close to dying. It's at 12%, so I'm going to cut this off fairly soon. It really just depends on how they're spec'd. Sometimes they're slow, sometimes they're fast, and it depends on if they're on flat ground or on a hill. But I like our HDXs. They're neat. I just don't really love them. I'm not a fan of them. I'll put it that way. I don't hate them with a passion. I just hate them a little bit. But probably won't see me with a GoPro on my head while driving 819 as much as I'd love to. That's just not a conversation I really want to have with my boss. So I value my career over a YouTube video. Now, if they came to me and said, "Hey, you do this YouTube thing, if you want to do a driving video with a GoPro on your head, go ahead." But I'm not going to ask them. I'm not sure if Cameron's still here or not. He hasn't said anything in a while, but if he is, hello, Cameron. If he's not, that's okay too. He's got his life just like we all have our own, so. I'm probably going to cut this off here in about a minute or two, so if anybody has any questions or anything they want to ask, then go ahead. How do I feel that Cameron drives a Vision? Good for him. Any updates on possibly buying another bus? I got some things in my life coming up that I probably won't be able to, but I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. Good night, everybody. It was good having you all here. I really, I've enjoyed the live stream. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, so I'm glad we could finally do one. So, let me see. Sorry, I missed a comment here. My supervisor does do a green light, or does green light driving it on a driving video. I guess it'd be for promo for the district. Probably a selling point. Yeah, probably something like that. Am I going to do one on the 4th of July? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, HD, the HDX, pretty much the same thing, except the HD had one piece right under the windshield instead of 3, and then like where the turn signals and Thomas emblem are, that was all one piece on the HD, and then the extra windows in the back. But Other than that, I think it's the same thing. I've got 4th of July plans, so I probably won't do one on 4th of July. Maybe that weekend if I don't have any plans come up. So maybe next weekend. Probably not, but maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out whenever we get there. But if I got time, if I feel like doing it, we might do it live. We'll see. But I appreciate y'all sticking around, listening to me ramble, and appreciate the questions and everybody staying here. And hope you all have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.